Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jeannie and today I'm going to be sharing 8 different categories of things that I found helpful on my journey to healing with my back injury. I hope that you find all this information useful and that there's something in here that can be an encouragement and a blessing to you. So first on the list I have my assistive devices. Now, there was a lot of different things that I bought that I tried. Some of them were not so expensive, some of them were really expensive, but for the most part, I tried as best as I could to use things that I had available at home because I didn't know how much income I was going to have. I didn't know what things were going to look like in the long run, so I tried my best to really use my money in a way that wasn't too excessive and try to be really wise about my purchases. The first thing that I have on my list is a seat cushion. This one that I bought specifically, this is something that you would place on the bottom of your seat and it was just a cushion for your tailbone. I really needed this because it was difficult for me to sit down at all. So that device I've been using and I felt like it was a good purchase, but I would really recommend that you read the reviews, find out which one you think works best for you. There was another item that I purchased that I did not find as helpful, and it could be just because I'm generally a smaller person, so this kind of added too much support to my back, if that makes sense. It's something that was supposed to go behind your chair to offer that lumbar support so that your back muscles are not overworked, they're not overused, and you're naturally sitting in a place and in a position that supports your spine. This particular item I did not use very often. It was only every once in a while, but the idea of that kind of support did actually help me. So the thing that I found best was actually a rolled towel. So a regular hand towel or even just a full body towel that you could roll up and that you could use as back support. Sometimes I would just use one, sometimes I would use multiple, and it just depended on whatever type of support my back needed that day. So the good thing was that I could adjust it if I needed more, if I needed less. So I would recommend that instead of the actual lumbar support, but again, this may or may not work for you. One of the other things that I purchased that has been life-saving, I think, for me, and it actually took me quite a while to buy one of these because I thought, I can do it, I don't need this. But I would recommend that if you're going through this, that you get one immediately. Now, I bought several of them because I realized that I did not have the type of assistance that I was looking for. So I don't know what these are called. I just call them my grabbers. This one in particular, I did use for a while and it came in a 2-pack, but if you look very carefully at the tips here, when you go to grab something, it doesn't really pick up anything that is fine or small. It doesn't pick up anything that is hard to reach. After trial and error with this one that I purchased in a 2-pack, I decided to opt for a different one. And the good thing about purchasing them in a multi-pack is that you can keep them all around the house. Me personally, I kept one in the room, one in the bathroom, and one in the living room so that no matter where I was, I always had the ability to use this device to give me easy access to whatever it was that I needed without having to do too much walking. So that I would absolutely recommend, but make sure you find the one that best suits you and your needs. So the second one that I bought was this one here, and you'll notice that the grabbing mechanism is a lot different. This one has rubber grips on the bottom, but it's refined, I think. And the other thing that I really liked about this one is the fact that it has a shoe horn. So this helped me to put my shoes on when I absolutely needed to. For the most part, I was walking around in slippers most of the time just because it was so painful to put socks on and put shoes on and do any type of dressing. But when I did need to put shoes on for going to the doctor's office or stepping outside when it was absolutely necessary, I did find this particular grabber to be very, very helpful and the one that I use majority of the time. I also have walkers that I bought, and this one is one of the ones that you generally see somebody using when they're recovering from an injury. All it is just really lightweight aluminum and it's easily foldable, and usually you'll have like the 2 tennis balls on the front end of the walker and 2 wheels on the back. So it does not have any brakes, it does not have any seat, it's just merely a device to help you to walk and to get to and from one location to the next. So I have one of those and I used it for a very long time, over 6 months. And I found it to be very helpful when I was getting up to go to the bathroom and actually using the bathroom. There is a really great video that gave me some insight and some guidance when it came to using this. You can actually use a device to place over the toilet so that you have assistance when sitting down and when getting up after using the toilet. It will be a tremendous help to your back muscles, to your overall health, and you can keep it in the bathroom if you have to. So that was the first one that I bought, and I found it to be very helpful in day-to-day things when it came to moving around about the house. But when it came to going outside, I felt like I needed something a little bit different, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be a good fit for me. One, because I'm a smaller person. Two, because I was concerned about getting in and out of the doorways. Three, because I didn't want it to be too heavy of a mechanism for me to have to fold up. Too much work for me to put it all together or take it all apart or fold it up and put it away. So I was concerned about weight as well. But overall, I would have to say that it has been a huge blessing. Just as long as you have somebody there to help you to put it away, to take it out, to open it up, to close it, and all those kind of things if you're taking it with you wherever it is that you're going. So this device is also a walker, but this device offers a little bit more assistance. This one gives you more mobility, and it has an actual fold down seat so you can sit down if you would like, and it also has brakes on the handles and stop brakes so that you can put them down when you are stationary. So this little device, I didn't think that I would need it, but it actually has been a tremendous help to me, because there were times when I wanted to go out or I had to go out, but the seating arrangements that were available were very low or didn't have any cushion or just did not suit my needs for that time. And this device helped me because I was able to take it with me wherever I went, and I had an instant seat to sit on. So if I found that I was standing for too long or I felt like I needed to take a break when I was walking, I could easily just take a minute and have a seat without having to interrupt anyone or cause any issues with where I was at. You can go to the secondhand stores, see if they have some. I know that I personally had a friend who is such a blessing, such a sweetheart. She gave me one. I think that it really helped me in taking a big leap and making a lot of progress in my healing. So if you have the opportunity to get one, I would say yes, do it. Oh, you know what I forgot? Okay, so I forgot to talk about one of these things. Okay, this thing right here that I'm about to talk about is a lifesaver. This thing, if there's nothing else that you buy, I would recommend that you buy this. So this right here, I don't know what it's called, but this particular end has helped me to get dressed every day. It's helped me to even put on my shoes. It's helped me to grab certain things. And I like this end because you can just hang it up wherever it is that you are, so that it's easily reachable. So I keep that in the bathroom with me. There's been times where I've taken it with me into my room, but for the most part I keep it in the bathroom because I use it to get dressed after I take a shower. Next on the list we have clothing. Okay, so this was a hard thing for me because I'm somebody who likes to be warm. I like to be comfortable, to be cute at times. Sometimes it's just not possible, but there was a lot of different things that I tried as far as clothing. When I injured myself, it was summertime, so it was super hot. I did not want to wear sweats. I did not want anything that was really restrictive, and I just felt like loose clothing was the best for me because otherwise I just felt very uncomfortable. I would get itchy, and if you have a back injury, it is very difficult to bend over, to scratch, to shave your legs, to do anything that requires contact with the bottom half of your body. For me specifically as a female, I recommend minimal effort underwear if you can. There are tops that you can buy that have pad inserts so that you can kind of wear them as an undershirt. That way you don't have to work so hard at taking off, putting on certain things. There's actually underwear that you can buy that snaps or that magnetizes itself into place so that it does not fall off, it does not come off, but you kind of have to search. I did find one company on Amazon, but it was very uncomfortable, so I wouldn't recommend that brand, but just the idea of using something that's simple, magnetic or snappable, or something that is easily removable, I would recommend that, because when you are having to bend over or pull down or step out of your clothing, it makes it very difficult when you have to do these things on a daily basis. So the more that you can avoid those types of movement, and the more that you can use something that doesn't require you to exert so much energy and so much use so much of your muscles, is very beneficial. So I will put a link to that, but remember, I don't specifically recommend the company that I purchased from, but I do recommend the idea of that type of assistive clothing. One of the things that I also bought is a lot of sweats. When it did come to wintertime and the weather changed, things got colder, my muscles were very stiff. It was hard for me to stay warm. So I bought a lot of sweats. I also bought some very soft terry shorts so that they were stretchable, so that they were easy to take off and put on. I tried long dresses, like maxi dresses, but those actually did not benefit me as much because my legs were itching all the time, and it was very difficult for me to pull up the dresses and scratch my leg and then do all the things. So as much as it was easy for me to put them on, to say that it was functional, to say that it was beneficial to me, I would not say that that was the best idea. I would actually recommend sticking to sweats, shorts that are easy to pull on and take off, no underwire bras or tank tops that have padding inserted, assistive underclothing, underwear, bras, as well as just very comfortable loose-fitting t-shirts that you can take off and put on, because the more restrictive your clothing is, the more effort you will have to exert to put on and take off your clothes. I think somebody also recommended that you buy some really good shoes if you are walking, just to make sure that your posture is correct and your feet are properly supported, because if you have shoes that do not support your feet correctly, that can contribute to further injuring yourself, and it can also contribute to additional back pain. One of the other things that I also personally recommend is warm socks. Long socks seem to be the thing that works best for me, just because they're easier to put on and take off. There is a device that you can buy to help you to put on your socks. The one that I purchased was not very beneficial or helpful to me when it came to putting on and taking off my socks, just because I have very small feet and this particular device was very wide, you could say, very wide, and it was hard for me to fit my socks over the device so that I could use it to pull on my socks. So I struggled with that, and for the most part I didn't I didn't wear socks. If I did and I absolutely had to wear them, I made sure that I had somebody available to help me to put them on. But for the most part I tried to do with that. Next we have supplements and vitamins. I tried my best to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, but in the very beginning, I didn't realize how important nutrition was to my overall health at that time. I really stuck to my natural everyday diet, which wasn't bad overall, but I don't think that I would say I was maximizing my healing potential by the things that I was consuming. As I got further along in the healing journey, I started to realize that my normal eating routine and the things that I was used to eating was actually contributing to my pain. It took me some time to realize this, and so in the beginning I was eating my normal food and I was taking supplements, but after a while I started to notice that my pain was increasing, that it was not decreasing, that there didn't seem to be much change as far as my health, and I really knew that I needed to do things differently, especially because I found myself in a place where I was not able to get out of bed. I was not able to move very much. You do want to give yourself time to rest, but you also need to make sure that you're moving, that you have some sort of movement, because you need the blood flow. With that, you also have to be mindful of the things that you're digesting, because if you're not moving, it's very difficult for you to digest that food. So these are all the things that I learned on my journey. I would highly recommend that you eat lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, that you intake fiber, that you have smoothies. I ate a lot of chicken and fish. I also made it a point to consume bone broth, chicken broth, beef broth. And the things that I had to stay away from, the things that I had to cut out of my diet included coffee, sugar, bread, and chocolate. So I noticed that when I would eat these things, it would cause my muscles to tense up. It would cause my muscles to contract. I would have muscle spasms, and it just seemed to elevate my pain. And the funny thing is that it would not happen immediately after I ate, or even the same day that I ate those things, but it would happen the day after, or even the second day after, and I knew that I was paying for it. Just be mindful of your body, be mindful of the reaction that your body has when you're eating these things, and understand that fruits and vegetables are God's way of giving you the nutrients that you need, while helping you to digest all of it. And understand that when we intake the things naturally that our body already needs, our body doesn't have as hard of a time processing that substance as opposed to vitamins. Now, it might be different if they were liquid vitamins. For me, I did not use a whole variety, or a wide variety of liquid vitamins. And aside from that, I would also recommend that you try to minimize the use of painkillers or any type of medication that is over the counter. I tried really hard to use something that was more natural. There are turmeric supplements that you can take, or certain things that are meant to be an anti-inflammatory to decrease your pain, as opposed to ibuprofen, which can cause stomach issues in the long run. We now have our hygiene purchases. I, for the most part, had to modify the way that I did my daily routine, including brushing my teeth, taking a shower, getting dressed, everything. Everything that you could think of, I had to modify in some way or some capacity. So, an electric toothbrush, that was number one on my list. I knew I had to have it. The reason why I recommend this electric toothbrush is because I didn't realize that I was going to be in so much pain that I could not even brush my teeth, because just the forward motion of brushing, the motion of my body moving when I would brush my teeth, when I would bend forward, just even the slightest, to rinse my mouth, to use the toothpaste and all the other things, I found it so difficult to do any of that. So I had to get an electric toothbrush. This one is just Oral-B by Braun, and it just happened to be the cheapest one available. So I'm at the point right now that I can brush my teeth with a regular toothbrush, not an electric one, but it took me a long time to get to that point. So if you know what I'm talking about, I would recommend that you buy one. It has helped tremendously, and you will notice a difference in your back. I have a body scrubber. So this one actually came with the second grabber that I bought as a purchase package. And even though the idea of it seems to be great, it did not benefit me at the time when I purchased everything. So if you are going to buy something that is helping you to take a shower, just make sure that it is long enough so that you don't have to bend over and really exert yourself. One of the other things that I ended up buying that I found to be really, really helpful was baby wipes. Now, I mentioned to you that it was difficult for me to get in and out of the shower because I did not have the type of access that I needed. Granted, taking a shower was very helpful when I was able to take a shower, but for those days when it was just too unbearable, it was just too much work, too much effort, and I did not have the strength, I knew that I needed to use baby wipes. So baby wipes, absolutely necessary, you must have. The other thing was dry shampoo for women, people that have long hair. If you're not able to take a shower every day, I would recommend dry shampoo just because it helps you to have peace of mind. For me specifically, hygiene is very, very important. So the fact that I had a hard time taking a shower, washing my hair, doing all the things that I normally do, it really took a toll on me mentally, emotionally. So whatever you can do to help yourself stay in a positive mindset, encourage yourself to have the strength to get up to do something, even if it is just putting dry shampoo in your hair and giving yourself the appearance of life. I would recommend that. And just thinking about it makes me want to cry because it's very hard to walk through something like this when you don't feel like yourself anymore. So just know that there are things that you can do to help you in your journey, and I'm just praying and hoping that this is blessing somebody. So baby wipes, dry shampoo. One of the other things that I also had to buy that I didn't think that I would need is pull-ups. So because we have our cycle and it is a monthly thing, when you can't get around, you can't do very much. It can be very discouraging to have accidents. It can be very discouraging to feel like you need help doing everything. So just to make sure that you have peace of mind when you go to sleep, and when you're going through that time of the month, I would recommend that you buy pull-ups. Sometimes they can be very expensive, but even if you just buy the pack and you have it set aside, you can always use it for something else or someone else in the future. One other thing that I also found helpful is bed sheets. So the disposable bed sheets can just be added as an extra measure if you're not sure that the pull-ups are going to work, or if you find that you're struggling to get up fast enough to go to the bathroom and you are kind of worried about having accidents. You can purchase disposable bed sheets or pads, so when you have an accident or when you are done using that item, you can just grab it and throw it away. Number 5 is the nutrition and food or dietary plan that I had. Now, I mentioned to you that I was in bed for over a week, and then suddenly that time was extended and I was in bed for over 5 months. There were times when I could not do anything for myself. I could barely get up the strength to go to the bathroom, use the bathroom, and come back. That was about the extent of all that I could do through the day. Now, granted, I was going to the bathroom at least 4 times a day because I was trying to consume a lot of water to rehydrate my body and to do everything that I could to assist my body in healing. So I was going to the bathroom quite a bit, but even in that, just the simple fact of using the bathroom and having to exert so much strength, it was very, very difficult. My nutrition, I knew that I needed to change everything about my diet. Again, like I mentioned, eating lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, lowering my sodium intake, staying away from coffee, sugar, bread, chocolate, anything that would cause things to be released in my bloodstream or released in my body that would attribute to the pain that I was experiencing. In addition to cutting out those things, I also learned that it helped me to lose weight. And I needed to lose weight because when you have a back injury, you don't want to add any extra pressure on your body. You don't want to gain weight because then that means that your discs are compressed. That means you're having to carry more weight, shift more weight, and the less weight that you have, the better. Now, I am not encouraging anybody to lose a crazy amount of weight. All I'm saying is that if you find yourself in a place where you're eating so much that you're gaining weight, that's something you want to try to stay away from. We want to maintain our weight so that we do not add to the pain, and we want to stay healthy. It was very tempting for me because I was in a situation where I was in bed all the time. It was very tempting and very easy for me to kind of eat my feelings. And I come from a family where food is our comfort. So for me, all I wanted to do was just eat all the time, all day. And so having to change my mindset as well with this diet plan and keeping in mind everything, that was very, very challenging for me. Try to eat a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit, drink smoothies that are organic, that are made from nothing but fresh ingredients. Drink a lot of water, stay away from things that are blood thinners, especially if you're not able to move around as much, and try to, again, take natural remedies for pain, natural things that will give you the anti-inflammatory effects that will help to decrease your pain. Number 6 on the list is the do's and don'ts of movement. If you can, just be very careful about the way that you move, the things that you do. I had to avoid bending over when I brushed my teeth, bending over when I dressed, bending over when I would get in and out of the shower, when I would turn on the faucet, turn off the faucet. I had to avoid washing dishes, taking out the trash, doing any sort of bending forward for any reason whatsoever. That meant no picking anything up off the floor, no shaving my legs, no twisting and turning of any kind. I had to be very, very conscious about the way that I was moving, what I was doing, and be very careful not to pick anything up, to carry anything that was too heavy, or to do any sudden movements that would cause my back to spasm or cause it to be in pain. So please keep that in mind when you are trying to adjust your routine, and just know that it is possible. It might take a while for you to retrain your brain to moving in a healthy way and moving in a way that's going to help you in your healing as opposed to hinder you. I had an incident where I totally forgot that I could not bend forward. I dropped a water bottle, the water went everywhere, and I went forward and I injured myself all over again. So please, please, please be very, very careful when it comes to the movement, and keep track of what you can do, what you can't do, what is beneficial and what is not beneficial to you. Now we're going to move on to life routine, which is number 7. These are all the things that I usually use on a daily basis that I did not use before, or that I did not realize was so helpful in my healing process. So hot showers. I'm now at the point where I'm able to take a shower every day, but it was not like that for a long, long time. Taking hot showers, I am so thankful to God that we have hot water. But the hot showers, they do help. You just have to be very careful about being conscious of how your body feels after you get out of the shower, because I noticed that it would help my muscles to relax, and I felt like I could do a little bit more after I had just taken a shower. But the danger in that is the possibility of pushing your body too far and then suffering the consequences after your body has cooled down, if that makes sense. So if you find yourself in a place where you're very, very cold, or you're having a hard time warming up, or your muscles just feel very, very stiff, very, very tense, and you can't relax, I would recommend that you take a hot shower. Again, if you have access to a walk-in shower, great, fabulous. If you do not, then I would recommend that you get somebody to help you to get in the shower, get out, turn on the water, turn it off, to get dressed, to dry yourself off, all of those things that you feel you need help with. I would recommend that you have somebody to help you, and especially being careful to take a shower when there's somebody else home, because the likelihood of you injuring yourself while you're in the shower or getting out, it can increase because you are in a place where you're very fragile. So please just be very careful about that. Make sure that when you are stepping out of the shower that you have something that's laid down so that you don't slip, and something that's laid down so that your feet don't touch the cold floor, because that does contribute to pain. 2 of the other things that I noticed is that I would have back spasms in the morning. So if you are experiencing these types of things, you might want to get a heated blanket or a heating pad that helps to decrease the muscle spasms, and it helps to generate blood flow to your body so that your muscles don't cramp up. Massages. So I did not have the luxury of having a significant other to give me massages. I did have family that would help me to like put lotion on my body after I got out of the shower, or whenever I was in a lot of pain when it came to my feet, my legs, just different parts of my body or extremities that were dealing with a lot of pain at that moment. It helped a lot to have leg massages to increase the blood flow. It helped to have feet massages because I found it to be very, very painful, and there was a lot of nerve endings I felt were activated during my injuries. I think that it's important to make sure you have moisturized skin so that you're not itching and so you are not going crazy with, just irritation everywhere. Stretching. So I had it in my mind that I needed to stretch and do a whole lot of stretching in order to get better, and I think that the way that I went about it was not correct. I would definitely try to connect with a physical therapist to see what the best stretches could possibly be, but please keep in mind that you are in control of your body. You are aware of what causes you pain, what does not cause you pain. And if a particular stretch or a particular exercise is causing you pain instead of helping you to get better, I don't think that I would recommend that you do that. And I can say this from experience because I tried for the longest time to walk, and every time I would do it, I told myself, if I don't walk, then I'm not going to get better. But it actually hindered my healing process because every time that I would try to walk, it would basically undo all of the healing that my body was trying to facilitate. I think it can be beneficial if you're using stretching as a mechanism to avoid muscle spasms, as a mechanism to increase blood flow to your body, as a mechanism to keep your body warm, just to keep your body moving. I think that it is a good idea, but again, only you know what you can handle, what your pain threshold is, what you're feeling inside, what helps you, what does not help you. You are the only one that knows the effects of the stretching that is taking place. I do recommend it on one hand, but on the other, I would say be very careful about the type of stretching that you're doing. Connect with a physical therapist if you can. Definitely keep track of maybe a journal or some type of a log so that you have an idea of what stretches and what movements are beneficial to you and which ones are harmful to you. I did a certain amount of stretching after an extensive amount of healing time, bed rest, not stretching, not walking, not doing anything. And after a time, I did start walking. So I tried to walk as much as I could. Like I said, I was consuming a lot of water, so I would go to the bathroom at least 4 times a day, but that was the extent of my walking. Sometimes I would not move for more than 2 hours out of the day, and that was broken up into like 15-minute segments. So whatever it is that your body allows, whatever it is that your body can handle, just try to increase it as time goes on, but try not to overdo it to where you undo all of the work and all of the effort that you've been putting into your healing process. The last thing that I have is support. So for number 8, it is really all about community. It's all about emotional health, emotional strength, spiritual strength, just keeping yourself in a place where you are staying positive. Now, I know that this can be hard to do, especially when you're in a place where you feel like nothing is moving, nothing is changing, you're in pain every day, and no one cares, and you just don't understand why these things are happening to you. I would highly recommend that you find someone or a community of people that can surround you during this time. I myself had to connect with someone from the church. I had to call somebody and set up weekly appointments so that we could have a conversation at least once a week and pray afterwards. That for me, I think, was very, very difficult, but also a big help, because at that point in time I felt like I was going crazy, like nobody knew what I was talking about, nobody understood the pain that I was going through. And God was so good that He allowed me to connect with somebody that actually had experienced the exact thing that I was walking through. She told me that it was not uncommon for people to sustain this type of injury and for them to be in bed not doing anything for 3 months. So that brought a lot of peace to me, to my heart, and it really helped me along in my process to understand that it was not a bad thing for me to be resting, that it was not wrong for me to take my time in the healing process. And just to hear more about the journey and how long it took, I really think that it helped in my journey. And you will find yourself in a place where all you think about is what you did wrong, what you could have done better, what you should be doing, where you should be at, who you should be with, and thinking about all the things that your life has led up to at this moment, at this point in time. But the most important thing is to remember that God is in control of everything. And so if you have the opportunity to connect with community, to reach out to a friend, or even to just reach out to other people, I would also recommend that as well, because it helps you to take your mind off yourself, it helps you to be mindful of others, and it helps you to stay productive. Even if you're not able to get out of bed, you can always use the phone, you can always text message, you can always use the computer. Do something that gives you a reason to wake up every day, and something to motivate you, an action to take, some sort of task to complete. Now, granted, I don't think that you should get consumed in that, whatever it is, that it takes up all of your time and it takes away from your healing process. But I do recommend that you find some way to keep your mind active and to keep your heart soft, because it's very easy for you to fall into a pit of despair, disbelief, and hopelessness. You could do a Bible study group. You can meet on Zoom. You can reach out to a friend. You can send out text messages. You can sign up for a ministry. You can sign up for church counseling. You can do any number of things. But my top 3 recommendations would absolutely be to read the Bible on a daily basis, to have a set apart prayer time on a daily basis, and to find a meaningful, God-centered, positive community that you can connect with, that will not only be understanding of your situation, but that will be able to offer some sort of support. Those are my top 8 things that I would recommend. I hope that this was very informative and that you found something that is going to be helpful to you, or something that will be helpful to someone else. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.